What's up, guys? I'm Alan Branch from Glove Up. With me, as always, my man David Dise. And tonight we have a special guest, a man who has done something that literally no one else has ever done, and that is world titles in kickboxing, in boxing, in karate, and if I'm not mistaken, also a BJJ black belt. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You
All right,
are.
guys. This is Troy Dorsey. If you haven't heard of him, you're going to hear a lot more of him on our channel tonight. We're going to be asking him some questions and learning all about sort of his history and how it came that he was able to accomplish what we consider an amazing feat, and that's world titles in multiple disciplines. And you still look like a young guy, so I think you're looking pretty good there, Troy.
Well, thank you. I don't know. Have you had your eyes checked lately?
Maybe. So
Let me
tell
get
us,
some
man.
glasses.
Give us a give us just a quick little breakdown. How'd you get started doing martial arts?
Well, I was getting bullied on at school in the fifth grade, and that summer, my dad said, "Okay, I'll take you and your brothers down. We're going to go do martial arts. We're going to do karate here in downtown Mansfield." So Jim choked, opened a school there, and I took karate for the summer, and then it's been every summer ever since then. So that was 1973. So now we're looking at right at 28, 29 years, right? No, a lot longer than that.
Longer than
So
that.
What was your
that's what,
first style, Troy? Because I saw Taekwondo background.
yeah, it was American Taekwondo underneath Pat Burleson. So Jim
Okay.
Cho was Pat Burleson's instructor, and that's what we did. It was let's see here, was it the AKBBA? Yeah, American Karate Black Belt Association. That's when they founded that association, and that was part of when I started. Like I said, I was underneath.
So it
Pat
was like the
Burleson.
Jeff Smith kind of Taekwondo,
Yes, sir.
Taekwondo kicks, but still
Yes, sir.
excellent with hands. Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, and we did a lot of katas then, and usually a kata or two for each belt. So I never really enjoyed those. So, anyways, that's what we had to do, and that's what I had to do to get where I am today.
Yeah.
So what came? What was the first competition?
Well, we waited a long time after we started martial arts. We waited a long time because we want to be ready. So we waited 2 weeks. And we went to a tournament. My brother's
2 whole weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. And when I started in '73, there was no gloves, there was no boots, no shin guard. We wore a mouthpiece. We wore a groin protector. It's crazy how that worked out because that's more important than your hands and your feet and your shin. The wearing a groin protector and protecting your teeth. So, like I said, I fought in my first tournament in 2 weeks, and I won second place. And I believe my brother Brian won first place or second, something like that. And my brother Rodney didn't win anything. And then after that, everything changed. My younger brothers would come away with a first, second, or a third place, and my youngest brother Rodney was consistently winning. He would fight in the United States Championships that year, so we'd been in martial arts for like 6 or 7 months.
Wow.
And he won third place in the United States Championship. Do y'all remember the United States Championship that Allenstein put on in Dallas?
Yeah.
It was a huge tournament.
Big.
So of course I didn't place in that tournament either, and it took a while for me to start winning. Actually, that happened after I got my black belt in 1979. It was like everything started clicking at that time. And I loved kickboxing, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to be a world champion, and of course I was an amateur. And then I just could see it was just something that I really, really loved and really wanted to be a part of. And I just kept chasing my dream. So if you're out there and you've got a dream, whether it be in martial arts or it be in finances or it might be in your marriage or whatever it may be, relationships, it takes a lot of work. It doesn't matter what you do. There is no easy way to do it. I've tried the easy way sometimes, and it didn't work. So,
Hey, Troy, let me ask you something. So,
yes, sir.
when you first started point fighting and then kickboxing. Were you an aggressive style fighter, or did you learn to be? Because you were known for going after people and
yes,
pressure.
Sir. Yes, sir. That's the way it was from the beginning. I just put my chin, or not my chin, put my forehead on their chest, and I learned this saying after I started boxing. I just camped out right there on their chest until it was over. Whether they won or not won.
Being bullied, right? Because you're looking. I know Jerry Trimble, who it's hard to believe that he was bullied, because when he'd get in the ring, it was pressure, and when I watch you, it was nonstop. And sometimes that's not synonymous with people that may have been bullied,
Right.
So that's pretty wild. I was just in you. It's in your heart.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's the way God made me. And just constantly pushing forward. And so my trainer also said, my boxing trainer told me that if they don't get tired of you punching them, don't get tired of punching them.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like a Joe Louis saying.
Yeah. Well, I admired Joe Louis a lot. We went to Europe a couple of times together, and I really admired him, and I miss seeing him, and I know y'all miss him also, but we got to move forward.
Yeah. And what's funny, Al and I talk about it. Joe he was a scientist. We were talking about this the other night. Before he died, he was probably better at kickboxing then than when he was at peak, because he was constantly evolving and improving. That's why we really took to him, because always looking to be better. But you are probably, I don't even know, Gene LaBelle, he used to speak highly of him. But there aren't too many people that he would stop and say, this guy is good, And I wish you'd have known more about that before he died, because he didn't, I can't fill up one hand of people he's complimented and saying, that guy's got it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you had to have the heart side of it too for Joe. It wouldn't matter if you were just a technician, Alan? But if you didn't have that intensity, he was not impressed,
Thank you for sharing that with me. That makes me feel good that I never heard him say anything necessarily like that about me or to me, but I'm glad that y'all got that he said. I'm proud and happy that he said that, and it humbles me to know that he was talking good about me behind my back.
To everybody, to all of his students. If you ever worked out with him, your name came up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't think he ever said anything good directly to anybody's face. It was always good about you behind your back. So
yeah.
We didn't get too many compliments face to face, did we, David?
No, I never. There weren't a lot of attaboys.
Yeah, you don't get attaboys.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get to hear it either. So now I'll accept it, and I'll take it on, and thank you, man, for sharing that with me.
Yeah.
That's an honor.
So I think it's a cool transition to learn how you transitioned from kickboxing to boxing. Like, I know I was looking at some of the stuff today, and you know what I'd like to do real quick for you guys that are watching, in case you've never seen Troy in action, I'm going to play a little bit of a highlight reel and let you watch just a little bit of that. And Troy, I'm not 100% at whether it'll let us commentate while it's going on. I don't know that. So it may not be able to hear us, but we can watch.
If I can talk.
Yeah, we'll see if it'll let us.
Okay. Well, here we go, kickboxing. I think that fight was in Las Vegas. Turn hook kick. I set in with turn kick the body, then I turn hook kick. Set this overhand right up after the jab. This was in Denver, Colorado. This was in Las Vegas. That's a Russian that I fought. That guy was tough. He kept getting up. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would switch between the turn kick to the body, the jump turn heel right to the head, and throwing that overhand right. I like that jump back kick. So lots of power there. This was over in Germany at the Olympic Stadium. There's the guy that turned hook kick, Steve Dominchuk.
Oh,
He didn't fall for it. This is that Russian guy. I think this is about it right here. That poor guy. This is Michel Rochette from Canada, one of my kickboxing
man, that guy
coaches.
was a fighter, Jack.
Yeah. That was Manuel Medina defending. I was defending my world title. I actually lost it that fight. I knocked him down twice. Ran out of gas. And I lost the title.
Oh, side kick to the face. There you go.
Elevated side kick to the face. Yeah, here's Oscar De La Hoya. So after he retired, they called me. They said they want to talk to me. What do you want to talk to me about? It was nothing. I had a 3-inch gash above my eye, and they stopped it. There's Harold Rose, the #1 contender in boxing, knocking that guy out in the 10th round in Montana. So De La Hoya broke his hand on my fight when he fought me. I think that was his 9th fight. And he had to punch differently for the rest of his career. So my saying, just go ahead, give it your best shot. It's not going to hurt me. Here's the boot sweeps.
Yeah.
Over in Europe. This is in New York, fighting Kevin Kelly. 27.
Kevin Kelly could fight, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Wrapped that around his neck there, the back of his neck. Front leg heel kick. This is I won the world title right here. This is it. This is it. It's Caesar's Palace in the boxing capital of the world. So it took me 25 rounds to win the world title. Well, it was only 1 round. But it was 12 rounds with Jorge Paez. I set the Guinness Book of World Record for the most punches ever landed in a world title boxing match against Jorge Paez. It's still the record.
Wow.
You know, when I watched you fight him, I was like, dang, there's a lot of punches being thrown, but I didn't realize it was the most ever.
Yes, sir. In that particular fight, February 1990. So 35 years ago.
So this is what I think is amazing. I was telling Alan this. So, you know, you'd lost 2 kickboxing bouts, right, in your life.
Yes, sir.
So you were top of the show there, and, you know, as we could see, hitting people with whatever you want to hit them with. But Michel Rochette, so Rodney Batiste was one of my instructors. And when
I remember him.
Fought Terrio, right?
Yeah.
For the second time in Montreal, Michel Rochette was on the card, and he looked like a mini Jean-Yves, same style, same mechanics. And I was like, man. So then I started, you know, watching his fights. And then when I talked to you a while back and said, yeah, I was watching your stuff, and daggone, man, he knocked him out. That guy, I think he's one of the cleanest kickboxers I've ever seen. And but then you go from there to boxing, right? And you jumped right in. So what your boxing record was, it was like what, 23-15 or something like. What was your boxing record?
I'm sorry, I don't remember that. I think I had 3 draws, and
because you had a lot of fights that you just went right to the top, fighting like Kevin Kelly. I guess if people are watching, I hope they know that, you know, a phenomenal fighter. Jorge Paez was probably pound for pound at that time the toughest cat at any weight division.
Yeah, he was fighter of the year in 1989.
There you go.
I fought him in 1990 in February, so I would have had to knock him out to beat him. But I mean, I set the Guinness Book of World Record. I just found this out about 8 or 9 months ago. I guess I just got to land a few more punches. Although it's the Guinness Book of World Records, it wasn't enough.
I never saw him hurt. I never saw anybody drop him that I can think of.
De La Hoya did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he ended up fighting De La Hoya later on. So, yeah, it was. It wasn't a ride. It was my life, and I got to live the life that I wanted to live, and that I feel like God gifted me to live. And my parents were behind me, but I moved out out of my house when I was 18 years old. I thought I was a big boy then. I moved out. I was going to do my own deal. And so I didn't have to be there with my parents telling me, you got to be home at midnight or whatever it was. Anyways, my wife, Leslie, that's when she came to my life in 1982. And then 86, we got married. And her putting up with me, sometimes, you know how training goes. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. And when you come home, when I came home, I unleashed a lot of stuff on her. I was mean to her. I was mad at her, although she did nothing. I wasn't mad at her, but I was
Frustrated.
I wasn't nice and caring and loving. But I'm so thankful that my wife stuck with me and encouraged me, and she was my number one encourager then, and she just keep on going, Troy. You got this. You can do it. I know you can. I believe in you. And her praying for me. Oh my gosh! Like I said, it wouldn't have been the fighter, I don't think, had it not been for my wife being fully supportive and loving me and caring for me and encouraging me and just pushing me. So I'm grateful for my wife.
Troy, the transition from kickboxing to boxing, who that you can think of came the closest? So I know Dale Cook had, some boxing, pro boxing and televised, but I don't know if he ever fought for a world title or even made the top 10. I'm trying to think who else has even come close. Or real boxing, WBA or WBC or IBF, you're
Right.
WBO, right?
Yeah. I won that IBF title.
Yeah.
Then I won the IBO title, which was a newer title at that time, of course. But I fought Jimmy Burdell, and De La Hoya knocked him out in the 10th round. And then the 10th round, he didn't come out for the 10th round. So I was able to win that world title, the IBO world title. So it was a world title, and I was ready to go for it. And it was towards the end of my career. I think that was maybe one of my last fights. I think it might have been my 4th or 5th fight toward the end that I fought. So, yeah. And then I got cut. I fought Gabriel Ellis at the Alamo Dome and in San Antonio. And I had got cut. And of course, you guys know I used to get cut a lot.
Yeah.
What I did is I got cut. It was in Las Vegas, but I remember the doctor telling me, it was when I got stopped by Oscar De La Hoya and I got the 3-inch gash across here on my left eye. The doctor said that there's a surgery that you can have. I don't know if y'all can see the scar, but there's a scar. It goes from here to here. And they cut me there. That wasn't that day. That was I fought De La Hoya in June. It was in November when I had the surgery done. And they pulled the skin to the edge of my eyes, shaved the bones off, fought them smooth, put the skin back up, cut some of the skin out of my eyelids. That also was easier to cut when you had a lot of excess skin there, and fought again. And won another world title in boxing, and I won 2 more world titles in kickboxing. Wow. And then I got cut that last fight with Gabriel Ellis, and I just figured I'd put my wife through and my parents through HELL enough, and I had won enough, and you always want to do more, but all I did is all I could do, and all that God gifted me to do, and all that God allowed me to do is just so looking back on it, I'm just I'm the spoiled rotten American. No doubt.
Well, I want to talk a little bit training, Dave. Sorry, I know we both have.
Yeah.
Like, so what are some ways that I know a lot of it's built in, it's in your mindset, but what were some of the ways that you train that aggressive, high pressure style? Like, what's some training tactics for that?
Well, you definitely got to be in shape. So it just what I would normally do is run 3 miles in the morning, and then 3 miles, and then 8 miles one time a week. So I ran 6 days a week, and I do 8 miles, and then I shortened that later on to all 3 miles. Just you have to. I've heard this saying, I'm sure, train hard, fight easy. Well, not really, but it should be train hard, fight easier.
Right.
But it really is training, training, training. It doesn't matter if you're going to be a doctor or a coach, whatever it is, fighter. You've got to train. You got to be in great shape. And then because of all the training that you've done, you're going to have the confidence. Well, you mean it takes confidence to win a world title? It takes confidence. And also you're going to be prepared. So all that training put together with the running, the sparring. I sparred a lot more than most coaches wanted me to spar. That's I would spar, work up to 9 3-minute rounds. 9 times 3 is 36, right? So no, 9 times 12. 9 times 12 is 36 minutes, right? So I would do the 6-minute round. 4-minute rounds in boxing and 3-minute rounds in kickboxing.
So you'd go an extra minute in your training.
Say it again.
You'd go an extra minute. So for boxing training, you were sparring 4 minutes, kickboxing 3, which so people are watching boxing competing is 3 minutes, kickboxing 2 minutes. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Exactly. So I extended it out a minute, and then I would do the same number of rounds that I was fighting. Like I said, if I fought 12 rounds, I said the same round, but I wouldn't. I would do the same number of minutes. So I'm going to be in the ring for 36 minutes fighting. So I would train doing it for 9, get it in 9 rounds. So that made it harder on me. But you got to be hard on yourself, and you got to be consistent, and you got to watch. I had a big hard time of losing the weight, making weight. Like they're still having trouble doing that now. But my father-in-law in 1992, after I fought Jesse James Leha,
damn, he could fight too.
Sent me to a nutritionist, and I started eating the way that the body can eat. So I looked at my meal plan as like, how can I eat all this and lose weight? Because I was in the habit of starving myself. One day I would eat a baked potato. That's it the whole day, and I wouldn't drink much water either because I thought water, it weighs a lot. Well, it does, but I found out after my father-in-law Al Jacobs sent me to a dietitian, and I ate 3 meals a day with a snack after my breakfast, a snack between my breakfast and lunch, and a snack between my lunch and dinner. And it was a lot. But your body, God made us this way. So if you start not getting much food and getting less food, your body's going to slow down. What do they call it?
Your metabolism,
The metabolism, the rate in which you burn calories, the metabolism, it's going to slow down to a crawl because your body, it's unbelievable how long your body can go without food. It's like burning a calorie like this, tick, 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 tick. So you start eating and start giving the body what it needs. The body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. That's what the Bible says. And you start giving it what it needs. You start drinking lots of water. And
it'll let it go. Yeah.
You keep drinking water. It's water is every bodily function requires water. So I was on the wrong path. Started with that eating plan, and it was still difficult, but it wasn't. It was a healthy difficult.
Now, Troy, how did your father-in-law know that? Was he an athlete, or because that was for them? That was pretty progressive. Going, hey, let's get you to a nutritionist.
I wish I would have talked to him about it, but I didn't. I just said thank you very much, and he found a nutritionist to help me out.
Yeah, because that when you did that, that was kind of cutting edge then, or almost unheard of. Now it's commonplace,
Oh yes, sir. There's so much science on eating or on diet, and no telling what I would get to eat right now. But it all worked out good.
What about when your favorite combinations? Like you were talking earlier before we went live, and you were talking about how some things just don't work, and you stuck to the things that were more effective. Like in your mind, what were those particular combinations? Obviously, I saw you like that spin kick. But what are the certain things that you really like, that you really focused on training, that you felt were most effective?
Since you're talking about the kickboxing, that turn hook kick, what I would do, as I said earlier, I would turn and kick the body with my knee down, my knee facing the ground, my toes facing the ground. So many times when people turn, they turn too far. Their foot is like this. Their toes are like this way. When you kick like that, that's like sitting on a leg press machine, and both your toes are straight up. When you sit on a leg press machine, you push this way, right? You don't put one foot this way, or both feet this way. You're not going to have as much power. You only have that much power by pushing with that leg press machine with both toes up. That's how you do a turn back kick. You turn like 30% instead of 50%. So, I'm sorry. Question again?
No,
No,
so it's like
you
looking over
already-
your shoulder, right, Troy? Instead of spinning, you're looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, I call it.
Me
I call
jamming
it.
that side kick and then cracking it into a hook kick, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I call it a turn kick, because when
Yep.
you spin, like when you drive your car and you spin, oh, you get out of control. But when I turn my car,
Yep.
okay, I just turn. So I like call it a turn kick.
Yep.
That's where I
How
get
did
that
how
from.
did you set? How'd you set? I don't mean to interrupt. There's a little bit of a delay, but
Oh,
you got me wanting to ask a lot of questions. So, how
yes.
did you? What was your favorite way of setting that up?
So setting it up by kicking to the body, or either right when they kick, the round kick, boom, turn hook kick. Right.
Their
So
lead.
right when I see it coming, because they're this way, leaning back, and their hands are going down, turn kick.
And you're talking their lead round kick.
Their lead leg
Their
front
lead
round
round
kick.
kick.
Yes,
Yep.
sir. Yes, sir. Because I was left leg forward. If they were southpaw, then it would do if they did a rear leg kick.
Mm-hmm. And you
Yeah.
spin right off it.
And what
Yes,
kind
sir.
of stance? What was your? Describe your stance to us that you used.
Okay, so
Like how?
both boxing and kickboxing, if I would have had to do it totally different, I wouldn't have been able to do it. My
Mhm.
feet, my front foot was always facing right at my opponent. My front foot facing the opponent, and the back leg coming up about so my front leg, we call that 12 o'clock, right? My back leg was more like 2 o'clock, maybe 2:30, just a little
Ball
bit.
and foot.
Toes were almost. I wasn't facing. Both toes weren't facing the same direction. The front was here, and the back was here, a little bit towards 2 o'clock. Does that make sense the way I'm explaining that?
Mhm. Yeah, like on the ball of the foot. That rear foot, you're on the ball of that foot, not pointing out, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, you're on the
So
ball
did
both
you-
feet, of course.
Where'd you derive that from? Was that taught to you, or is that something that you sort of just meshed together on your own?
Yeah, that was taught to me. That was taught to me. Jim Choate and my boxing trainer both working with that on your foot position. If your feet are just let's say 5 minutes using that 12 o'clock, just 5 minutes off, it's gonna definitely. Can you imagine if you throw a jab you throw the jab, of course, with your front hand, and you step and you turn your front foot at 1 o'clock. So 5 minutes. So here's 12. Here's 1. Here's 12. Here's 1. Can you imagine if when you stepped in and jab, you turn your foot this way? So
Out? Yeah, no way.
Footwork is so important. The positioning of your foot, the positioning of your body, your shoulders. So you not only turn your shoulders, you turn your waist. And I've just been working with some of my students about this over the last couple of years. Your belly button. Your belly button. Don't think about turning your waist. Think about turning your belly button that way. At more like 9:30.
We were talking about this tonight. Troy, Al and I was training somebody and talking about hitting them with their pocket, right? So, because so many people, and especially the Thai styles, they arm punch versus ripping those shots, you know?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like
those
the
little
belly button,
circles.
because if you turn that, then you're turning hard.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You're turning the whole body at that time for sure. Yes, sir. And I like to just carry my hands. I've looked through some of y'all training videos, and what you do is when they not score, when they attack or when they make contact, boom,
Yeah.
boom. I really like that. I'm so glad. I was wondering what it would be like, but it just earlier today that I was looking at this video, and y'all were doing the same thing. Right when you get a round kick to the body, turn kick, or right when you get the round kick here to your arm or a punch to your here, throw the uppercut or throw the overhand. So
It's funny, man.
What we call it the mouse trap. Have you heard it called that before?
I haven't, but we're gonna steal it.
Yeah,
Boom.
steal that.
Boom. So yeah, that just tricks the trap. So you're trapping them right when they hit it. Boom. Because they can't get their hand back to their head as fast as you can get your hand to their head.
At Troy, drilling. So Alan, we say drillers make killers, and we do skills and drills. So that's a perfect example of a great drill. Just one guy, pop, bang, right?
Yes, sir.
Because we believe that position is everything, right? Having a good position, and then, punching and covering and not getting out of position. Don't do their job for them. And we see so many people out of position. One night, Alan and I went and looked at just hours of knockouts, right? The best fighters in the world. And we could not find one knockout that took place where somebody just threw something just perfect and it was out of the blue. It was always somebody's hand was down, or they were drawing back, or, jabbing and dropping, or, getting hook up. We couldn't find one where that wasn't the cause of the knockout. And so we kind of stressed that on our channel about, man, get all those basics down perfect, right?
Yes, sir.
Obviously, you've practiced like that because your mechanics were so clean.
Yes, sir. Those mitts. I love sparring. I love fighting. But the second best thing that I did when I was training is hitting the mitts, and it was just like sparring. Because when my trainer hit me, I hit him. So you make them. So there's another saying, you make a miss. So this is what I did when I fought Alfred Rangel for the world title in boxing. The third time I fought for the world title, I just leaned over and threw the overhand right. So he threw the jab, and instead of he couldn't beat my hand out, pulling his hand back. So I moved to the side of that jab, boom, overhand right. So you make a miss.
Watching you do that is music too. It's beautiful because we've been in a lot of conversation. You watch MMA and people think that overhand right is that bomb versus just bink.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Watching
you demonstrate it was perfect.
Yeah, this guy was showing me how he throws his overhand right. He goes like this. So he leans over, he goes like this, he drops it down, it comes way out. It only takes 15 minutes to do that. We don't want 15 minutes. And my knuckles are right here. So, boom, I'm going to make a little loop, just a little loop, out and back. Out and back. And the hook, same thing, out and back. Out and back. So you drag it off the person's front of their face and coming across. So those uppercuts, there's a circle.
I hate that.
And the hook here, there's this little circle. You can make that circle big, boom. And you're the one gets caught. You can make that circle small here, and right out and back, right out and back. From the top, it's going to be a circle.
Yeah, that's a great explanation. And one of the videos that we did that was viewed the most is don't make a 2-foot punch a 6-foot punch. If you got 2 feet from here to here, most people draw back 2 and then make up the 2 and then do the 2. So they've traveled 6 feet versus bang,
Oh,
2
yes,
feet.
sir.
They go down before up and out before across. And, you should hear people, oh, no, you have to do that for power. I'm like, you'll never land it, against somebody good,
Exactly. Yes, sir. So, you won't hit anybody with it, and you won't do anything with it, and it's not going to make it good for you. So you just got to make it tight, and a quick out and back. And because when I'm most open is when I'm throwing a punch, when I'm throwing a kick. That's when I'm most open. So you got to limit that time. Limit that time that you're open, so that you don't get hit. Now, It's easy for me to say, but people that watch me fight, I got hit a lot, right? But but I made a lot of people pay when they hit me. So that pays off. That'll pay off for you if you're able to do that. And
Well,
just try my
you were also in motion a lot too, though. So it's not all that contact wasn't directly head on. You had a lot of great movement, you know, as well, which took a lot of that sting off. So we're going to say that how a lot of those don't count.
yes, sir. I'll have to agree with you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
So what's your favorite fight of all? Which one is it?
Well, my favorite fight of all, I have to say, it wasn't necessarily my favorite fight, but it was my largest goal is to be a world champion in boxing. So I fought Jorge Paez the first time, set the Guinness Book of World Records for the most punches landed in a world title boxing match. It wasn't enough. I knocked out Bernardo Pinengo, a former world champion, on the Jorge Paez undercard 2 months later. And then 4 months later, I fought Jorge Paez July 8th for the world title at the Hilton Hotel when the Hilton used to be the big hotel. And it didn't work out. It didn't work out. What do they say? At first you don't succeed, keep trying until you do. So I just stayed on the same path as I was on, and I wanted to, you know, the enemy will try to knock you off. You're trying to think you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. When you look in the Bible, it says, I can, I will, I can. So you repeat those things in your mind, to yourself, in your mind, over and over, no matter what it may be, and you'll be able to do it. If you tell yourself you can't, if you can't, you're right. If you tell yourself you can't, other people will tell you can't. How many people told me, Troy, you can't win a world title in boxing and in kickboxing? I didn't say too much about that. I try to let my hands talk, and my hands literally talked. So, yes, sir.
But Troy, that's such a big deal. People have no idea what a feat that is, because I think a lot of people naturally may think that that's been done before. But, you know, boxing has been around for so long and it's been so focused on just that. It's hard to have been focused on punching and kicking and then go to that sport and win a world title. And I mean, that's, you know, I can't think of anybody that's come close to doing it now that I think about it.
I think if you Google it, I think there are 2 or 3 people that have done the boxing and kickboxing world titles. I'm not totally sure, but I think there might be 2 or 3 other ones. But I wonder if they won a point world title also.
Yeah, no, but I looked, and you know, if it did, I missed it. But I daggone sure hadn't heard of them. But I don't know, man. I've looked pretty hard, and I don't see it. Yeah.
Well, I'll take it. I'll take that. I'll take that. All of it to myself, because, like I said, I couldn't have done it if it wasn't for the Lord Jesus Christ. If it wasn't for my wife, my parents, I couldn't have done it. But I'm telling you, there are so many times that so many of us, and I've done this before too, not in boxing and not in kickboxing, but you get almost there, then you give up. Or you get almost there, then you quit. Or you get almost there, but you get so upset that you didn't do it that you just give up. But there's so many times in our lives that we get just almost there. Well, at first you don't succeed, keep going until you do. That's what I want to encourage. If you're going through a tough, difficult time in your marriage, get some marriage counseling. If you're having a hard time at work, work hard, start looking for another job and do what you can do. Like the Bible says, you do your work as like you're doing it for the Lord. Whatever it is that you do it unto the Lord. Do it like it's unto the Lord, because it is. He's the one who put you there. He's the one who, sometimes we get ourselves in terrible situations, terrible things. I've ended up in those kind of situations also. But so often we put ourselves right where we're at. We work ourselves where we're at. We didn't make the work. We didn't press forward. We just gave up. So yeah, even the Bible says, press forward to the mark of the high calling of Jesus Christ. So when you're in tough situation, just press forward. Just press forward and keep pushing forward and doing it God's way. I've tried it my way. My way doesn't work. You got to do it
What
His
does
way.
it say? Fear not, right? Most people give up
Yes, sir.
because they start thinking forward and they're afraid. In the Bible, 365 times, right, Alan? Fear not, don't be afraid. You
How many
know,
times you say?
I think it's 365 times.
A
Yeah, I
day for
heard
every
that,
day.
and I was looking at okay, that sounds good, but I think it's about 155 times. But either way, God had to tell us because He gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. What should we be doing? More listening or more jibber jabber? So, yes, yes. If the Bible says it's true. Press forward to the mark of the high calling of Jesus Christ and do it His way. I tried it my way. You ever heard the song Frank Sinatra used to sing and Elvis Presley? I did it my
My
way.
way.
I tried it. And I said it doesn't work.
Uh-uh.
So
I think pretty much all
now
of us have tried that and figured out it didn't work.
yeah,
If you haven't figured that out yet, you're just not old enough.
Yeah.
right. I was gonna say
You're not old enough to know.
you must be
So
below 50 years old.
for sure. So let me ask you this: so you're teaching now. Do you have a
I'm teaching.
school? Is it
I'm
yours? Do
teaching.
you teach?
I just sold my school in December. I opened my school in 1981 in Dallas from Alan Steen. I bought it from him. Have you heard of Alan Steen?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, good. And we'll pray for him. He's having a tough time right now. So in 1999, I was born and raised in Mansfield in 1962. In 99, I've been driving to Dallas back and forth, back and forth. And my wife says, "Why don't you open up a school here in Mansfield?" So I opened a school in Mansfield in 99, and I sold it last year in December. So right now I'm doing private classes and I'm doing seminars. So if
Mm-hmm.
you'd like to book a seminar, give me a call at 214-957-5062. I do seminars on combat fighting. So it doesn't matter if you're doing point karate, you're kickboxing, you're doing MMA, whatever it is. I can give you some ideas on how to improve your fight game.
I can't think of any other human being that could know more about it because you fought at a high level at all of it and a black belt in BJJ. So you would know what works, what doesn't, better than anybody. Now, how about your stance, the way you stand and you said boxing, kickboxing, the same. Do you take that same position if ground fighting is added in?
I think so. Yes, sir. Feet
Mm-hmm.
facing the same way, get to give you the most power. Feet facing the way for your kicks, and then also jujitsu. Of course, you're going to square up a lot more in jujitsu, but I think it's the stance overall is going to be from that sideways stance. Your body turns
Mm-hmm.
sideways.
Bladed, right? We got in a big talk about that. The other people are, oh, that bladed stance. Boss Rutan said it doesn't work. I said, I don't understand how not bladed works. You're squared up. Everything's right there. You have no
Yes,
torque.
yes.
Yeah.
I put people at the worst position. If you're standing, you're facing me. Both toes are level here. Okay, don't let me push you. 200-pound guy, 250-pound guy, 300-pound guy. Don't let me push you. Boom. Okay, come
Yeah.
on, get steady. Get steady. Go ahead, bend your knees if you want to. Boom. And then what do? They back up. Okay, turn your body here. Now you get to push me. You're 300 pounds. You're 200 pounds. Now you push me. I'm like this. Boom. I might go back a little bit. I might take a step with my back leg, but it's not going to be this way. So if you're totally facing this way, which most people do not, some people that are really don't have much training here, but if you have this turn a little more, not only you're going to be able to be able to not get hit as easily, but you're going to be able to throw your punches with so much more power.
Amen, man. Golly,
And your
day.
kicks say so much more power. Kicking and punching, you have to. Your foot position is very important. The way you turn your body, and you can't just be lazy and turn it.
A
What is
little
this
bit.
called? Flat. So if my both shoulders are even, and I try to punch you, but if you put this right shoulder where the left shoulder was, that's when you're gonna get the power. So you hear, left shoulder's here. I put my
Yeah.
right shoulder there. So just like someone's, you can imagine if I had your shoulders and I was turning. That's the way you want to
Like a
turn.
washing machine. Yeah.
Washing machine, yes, sir. You clean somebody's clock there, right? Yeah.
Well, this has been a great call. Man, we might ought to do this again. And what I could do is maybe pull up a couple of the fights and let you. I would love to have you commentate through some of your fights.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That'd be fun. And what I'd like to do, Troy, we try to give everybody a good 45 minutes or so we don't take it longer. We could probably talk to you all night.
Okay.
What I'd love to do, you gave us your number. I'll go ahead and put that number in the description and any links that you have of where people can reach you. If you want to send me that, I'm going to put it here on the video and make sure that anybody that watches this knows how to contact you if they want some additional training or set up a seminar or something like that as well.
Okay. Pretty much
good.
is my phone number. Would you like me to repeat it again?
If you don't mind, I'll go ahead and put it in the comments right now. Go ahead.
Okay. My phone number is 214-957-5062. And if you want me to, I can teach seminars so that I can. It doesn't matter if it's you do kung fu and you spar, you do Muay Thai and you spar. Well, the Muay Thai that might be a little bit different because they're leg kicks and they've got their elbows out here like this. So, but either way, you're gonna have to learn how to punch. We can all improve. Do y'all know the biggest room in the house is the room for improvement?
Oh, that's good too.
That's another one we're gonna borrow from you.
Turn your whole body when you're punching and when you're kicking, while keeping those hands in tight and getting them back. When I go out, of course, my defense is I'm open. So you want to be out as little as possible, out as little as possible, out as little as possible. So your hands are out as little as possible, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because I'm open when I'm here, but I got my shoulder here when I'm throwing this punch, this uppercut, or this cross. You punch like this, your head up here like this, you're not getting as much power. And your protection. So you lose power, you lose protection. That's not what you want.
Hey, I did want to ask you this. Who do you like out there, like, boxing right now? Do you have somebody that you enjoy watching?
I don't watch it anymore, really. And my favorite guy right now, maybe he's not the best, but I really like this guy, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
I do too, man.
That guy.
He's a striker.
That young man, that man, and his dad are both just so nice and so they're so. If you meet that guy, have you ever met him?
I have met his dad. I haven't met him.
He's just a regular guy. He's just a regular old guy. He is just so nice and so respectful. He doesn't have any. Y'all know what ego is, right? Martial arts suffers with lots of egotistical guys, and I hope that I've not ever came off as egomaniac, but this guy, he's amazing. And they're hiring him to do some talking or sportscasting on UFC.
Well, I mean, I remember when he was little, like at the Battle of Atlanta. So I've been where he's been, but I've never had a conversation with him. His dad's name is Ray, right?
Ray Thompson, yes, sir.
Yeah. But when he was first coming into the UFC, I said, if you guys want to see somebody that can put their hands and feet together, there
you go.
Your kid can do it. And
yes,
what's the guy's name, Alan? That a lot of people don't know. He used to kickbox, but he fought, had that killer liver shot, but fought Canelo. I'll think of his name in a minute. But he was actually a really good kickboxer, and now he's just boxing. But I don't think he won a world kickboxing title though. But he's won a boxing title. I'll think of his name.
He won a world title boxing title, right?
Yeah. Middleweight.
Yeah. All right.
But he wasn't a big name in kickboxing. He transitioned over, but as a youngster, coming up 17, 18, 19, he used to kickbox on our cards. I'll think of his name. You'll know his name. Oh man. Anyway, Canelo, his biggest fight was Canelo Alvarez, and he did well against him. But yeah, man, I'd love to do this again. And whenever you're out doing seminars, just drop us a line, and we do a lot of this. We can always mention it. Hey, if you're in this area, or because if people really want to know how to do it, I can't think of a better human being to be in front of than you on that. And I mean that. We've had plenty of conversations about this, and we'll talk more about this off camera, but these MMA schools, those guys are in shape and they work hard, but
Yes,
most
sir.
of them are wrestling guys, right? Or
Right.
jiu-jitsu guys, so they don't know striking, and they've brought in these Muay Thai guys, and that just does not transfer over because they're too square. They don't have good enough hands. And I just really think that we could help a lot of those schools, because you don't know what you don't know. And they're trusting that, oh, my striking coach is a Muay Thai guy. Look at him leg kick and great leg kicks, good knees, good elbows. But I think it stops there,
Oh, yes, sir.
What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
On Muay Thai?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know a lot about it, but I know them keeping their arms out here. They're not going to be doing very well at all if they're fighting with their body this way. I mean, if I'm fighting another guy that fights this way, I guess I'll be the same as him. I'm giving all this area to strike, all these targets.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why they fight this way. There may be some reason that they fight that way. I'm not sure, but they don't kick the body. They only kick the legs, and I don't know if that's because that's all they can kick, or that's all they want to kick, or that's the rules are. But I'm not sure.
All right. So here's a question for you. We know what Joe would say. So if you just, the end all be all, punch or kick, what do you think is the most dominant weapon in the fight game? Call it boxing, kickboxing, MMA, all of that. Is it a jab? Is it a hard right? Is it a kick?
Well, when it's kicking, I think it's that turn back kick. That turn back is so powerful. Like I said, you're just like you're doing the leg press machine. Your toes are facing the same way. So when I do a jump turn kick, my body's going to be facing the other way. I'm going to be looking over my shoulder. So that jump turn back kick, and then the overhand right for boxing, that overhand right, just looping it over, and it's not going to be this long loop. It's just going to be a little loop up and over and down, and raking down the side of the person's. I'm not going down that far, just down just a little bit, and then it comes back. So, but I've got to get that thing back, otherwise I'm going to get hit.
Great punchers, if you can fire that jab hard and fast and that hard right hand, it sure is hard to deal with that. But you see people kind of doing it halfway in the octagon, and so people are walking through it, so they think those don't work.
Right.
But they haven't had somebody sit down and really rip that shot.
Oh, yes, sir.
Do you agree with that?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. I don't watch too much MMA fighting. It only costs $75, and it's every week now, so you can build quite a big bill there. But yeah, I enjoy watching it when I can. But yeah, I'm here to help. I'm here to help, and I'm old school. I started my fighting career in 1979. I retired in 1998 after I fought Gabriel Ellis. Do y'all know anything about Gabriel Ellis?
And the name sounds familiar, but I don't know. I don't know.
He has a brother named Rafael Ruelas. And anyways, both those guys were world champions a couple of times. And actually, are we still recording?
We are.
Yeah, we're live.
Well, I don't want to make Gabriel Ellis feel bad, but about 2.5 years before I fought him, he knocked this guy out. The guy never regained consciousness. Gabriel Ellis was a really hard puncher.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, yes, it's been a blessing to be able to share this time with you men. I'm so happy to see you now. Now I know when I'm here, David Dise, I know what he looks like.
That's right.
Alan Branch, I know what he looks like. Just got to learn how to spell your name, Alan. That's it. With the A-N
Uh,
or E. It's an E-N.
Yeah, it is. I still have it written wrong.
Yes, sir.
Well, we'd like to continue being able to talk to you a little bit and learn whatever we can. So after this is
Yes,
over,
sir.
we're not done with you yet.
Okay. Okay, good.
We'd
Well,
love
I
to
hope
keep
I'm
it
not
up.
done with you guys either. So
We hope
continue
not,
to-
man. Well, look, it was great
No.
having you join us. Thanks for sharing with us. You have any final word you want to give everybody before we sign off?
Well, we know what the world is, what's happening in the world right now. Wars and rumors of wars, floods, terrible weather things going on. People saying no to God. People saying no to Jesus. People saying, I can do it my way. I can do it on my own. I would just say, if you haven't learned anything about Jesus Christ, go to church and learn about him. Get your Bible and get in there and you see Jesus Christ. All time is marked. I wonder why they marked all time with him. It is 2025. This is, what is this? The
July 9th or 8th. 8th.
Okay, 2025. So 2025 years ago, that's when this is after his death. It's AD, right? And before that, it's before Christ. So that's why I say that all time is marked by God. It's either before Christ's time or it's after his time when he lived. And I believe that he's coming back soon. I believe he's coming back soon. It may not be in tonight. It may not be for 5,000 years. I don't know. But if you've not learned anything about Jesus Christ, I want to tell you, I want to encourage you to get you a Bible and start researching and looking. And there's so much evidence. Lee Strobel wrote a book called The Case of Christmas. He also wrote The Case of Christ, which is about 300 something pages long. The Case of Christmas is a shorter version. I think it's 130 pages, something like that. But he's a scientist. He found so much evidence, scientific evidence about Jesus Christ that he changed the way he started living and he became a Christian. Lee Strobel is his name. And the name of the book is The Case of Christmas. If you want to read the long version, it's The Case of Christ.
And his movie is out now too, I think on Netflix. The Case for Christ.
Oh, yes,
It's pretty
sir.
good.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
sir.
movie's
There
good
it is.
too.
Yes, sir. Thank you for reminding me about that.
Lee Strobel's a good call out.
Well,
That's
Mr. Branch.
I was going to say Lee
Mr. Branch, what you say?
Lee Strobel's a really good call out. That's a
Oh,
good.
yes,
that's
sir.
a good book. He's a good one to check into.
Yes, sir.
And so, hey,
Yes,
Troy,
sir.
you'll get a kick out of this. Alan is an expert in apologetics, the Lee Strobel stuff, right?
Oh, yeah?
He's an expert in it. He teaches classes in it. So you got a guy right here who really, really knows the proof of Christ inside and out.
All right,
pretty neat.
good.
We'll have some great conversation.
That's good. So we are, the three shall be one.
Yeah.
You know, the Bible talks about two shall be one, right?
Us three.
Us three, we're not getting married, but we are doing some things together. I look forward to doing so much more together with you men.
Man,
that sounds great, man. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll be in touch more.
Oh, yes, sir. God bless y'all.
You too, buddy.
night, bro.
Thank you.